Now, my traveling. There are different routes to travel to Guyana, and before going there, let me tell a few things about the location of Guyana. Geographically, Guyana is located in the continent of South America and right under the Cuban islands beneath the tip of Florida from the United States. So why am I saying all these things? I'm not going to take you through a boring geography lesson, but it is important to know where you live. Guyana is a region that is free from hurricanes and volcanoes. The reason they are protected from hurricanes, even though the northern coast of America and the northeast and southeast coasts are hit often, like Katrina, the famous hurricane, not our Bollywood actress, and other things there, Guyana is well protected by the shield called Cuba. It is right underneath geographically under Cuba, and nothing passes it and comes to us. They don't have an earthquake belt, as I already mentioned you, and there are no active or dormant volcanoes in Guyana. Probably they had a few floods because it's an equatorial country, and hey, come on, flooding when it is not so fatal is not a bigger deal, and it happens very rarely in Guyana. So reaching Guyana, the primary option, or let's say the first option everybody will think of, is to travel from the United States. But in order for an Indian student, let's say a Southeast Asian student, to travel to the States, they have a rigorous visa process. So I initially didn't want to risk myself going through the process, because that time the trend was the entry into United States was strictly scrutinized, and if you are rejected a visa for the first time, every time you go there you will have to go through extra scrutiny, and your chances of getting a next American visa, a subsequent American visa, is always 50-50. The reason I looked at all those things is because I want to do my post-graduation degree after I plan to get my undergraduate degree in medicine in the States. So I didn't want to jeopardize that chance at no cost. So I decided not to apply for a US visa, and my daddy helped me with that too. So the second best option was to travel through Europe. And among the European countries, France and Netherlands have a liberal transit visa policy. If you have to go through England, which you can do, you have to still get a visa, not a transit visa, but a proper visitor visa. But France has a Schengen visa, which allows you to stay in the airport and you can transit to the next country you're subsequently following. And Netherlands was also liberal like that. And when I checked the prices of the tickets, I had easier connectivity and more economical options from Netherlands. So I traveled from my hometown to Delhi in India, and from there I traveled to Amsterdam. I stayed there for like 6 hours in the airport, and that was like the second time I traveled to an international destination. And on my own, that was the very first time. It was quite fun. I was looking around, I was doing some little shopping, walking around my luggage, trying to figure out where to go next, and it was a handful. I managed it, and from there I went to a place called Suriname, and from there I transited to Guyana. When I first landed in Guyana, the tropical sea breeze welcomed me like it was going to give me a big hug, and it was really warm. And the time I landed was like about 4:35 in the morning, and it was supposed to be cold, but it was really warm and nice. And the people there, as soon as I landed, they knew I was a foreigner from my accent and the way I speak and present. They were helpful from the beginning. So my travel experience, in the term that losing my luggage, getting held up at the airport, being questioned, being scrutinized, it was almost nil. I didn't have any issues traveling through the Netherlands. Choose Texila.